Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with a review I normally don't make. It is time for my WWE Smackdown review for, wait a minute, today's Tuesday, March 10th. Smackdown doesn't air until Thursday, March the 13th, after the 12th. So I was like, wait a minute, how did I get to see Smackdown? There's one good reason.
Exactly.
It is because I went to Smackdown Live.
Are your things on YouTube or Facebook? Too?
I posted on Facebook too. I posted a YouTube link on Facebook.
Okay.
My girlfriend wants to know about how, because she was, if you didn't see my wall review last night, my brother's girlfriend appeared on my wall review, so she wants to see herself. But yes, I went to SmackDown taping tonight at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. Spoilers are included in this, so if you don't want to watch any spoilers for SmackDown, don't want to hear any spoilers for SmackDown, change the channel right now, please. I'll give you like 10 seconds. Now, for those who are sticking around, you're probably thinking to yourself, how did I get to go to SmackDown? Well, I didn't intend to go to SmackDown at all. I didn't have tickets at first. I haven't been to a live show in about 3 years, since Raw in 2012, which I didn't make a live report of when I went to Raw in 2012. I kind of been saving up to see more live events, like an NXT event one day. But I went to on an in-store signing today at a all place Quick and Wireless because they're doing a promotion with WWE. I got to meet Dolph Ziggler. He was cool. He was a very nice guy. So while at the signing for Dolph Ziggler was cool, they had a drawing for tickets for SmackDown. They had a drawing. WOIF, the local radio station, was there giving away tickets. 7 pairs of tickets were given away, and I won one of the pairs. Took my dad to see SmackDown tonight at the Joe. Really good seats on the 100 level. I didn't get any like shirts or anything, but I got this cool cup. I got a cup last time I went to Wall. When I went to Wall 3 years ago, but I got a different cup this time around. So, enough about the mush and how I got it. Talk about the experience itself. Good crowd tonight at Joe Louis Arena for SmackDown. Good action, a lot of action, not a lot of segments. That's what happens on SmackDown. When SmackDown's 2 hours long, although it was 3 hours, you count the dark matches, you got the main event taping and everything. It was a 3-hour show. But SmackDown itself was fun SmackDown taping. Fun night tonight at the Joe. Saw some things happen, as I mentioned in the description. So, let's get on to my review of the SmackDown taping. Like I said, my seats were really good. We had a dark match to begin the show. And I'm a big NXT guy. And I want to see an NXT show here, especially in the shows in Ohio. But I did get my NXT fix with the former NXT Tag Team Champions, Lucha Dragons, taking on a bunch of jobbers. They were nameless jobbers. It's cool to see Lucha Dragons go up in the main roster, especially for Kalisto, because Sin Cara didn't really catch on. I think Kalisto, if he's booked properly, he could be a great Hispanic hero. With Rey Mysterio going, they need a new Hispanic hero. And the reaction they got in Detroit was pretty good, because I'm a fan of them at NXT. There was people that knew the Lucha dance, but I think people who did not know about Lucha Dragons before tonight became instant fans. Really fun match to kick off the show. They didn't botch it. They didn't do it. The last NXT pay-per-view, they botched a lot. Especially Sin Cara botched a lot, no matter who plays them. But it was a cool match. Like I said, I'm such an NXT fan. So it's an NXT mark, you should call me. Especially my 99 shit. I'm a smart fan. But anyway, the Jobbers got some good offense too, but Lucha Dragons keep flying back. Like Kalisto, actually Sin Cara was like isolated. Then of course Kalisto came in, high wire, dealt with his Kalisto, Solita del Sol, his great finisher. Followed up with a Sin Cara splash, 1, 2, 3 victory. Like I said, that was a dark match for the fans. I hope they get to the main roster soon because Sin Cara's been okay in the main roster, but if he brings the Lucha Dragons teammate with him on the main roster, they will really get over well. And they had a good reception in Detroit. Decent crowd tonight in Detroit. Good crowd. I'll get to who I thought had big pops soon. But first, after the dark match, to begin the show, we would have the main event matches. Of course, taping for main event. We would kick off our main event matches with Axelmania. Curtis Axel taking on Eric Rowan. Like I said, these are spoilers. They were aired on the network. So once again, if you didn't hear me earlier about changing the channel, if you don't want to hear any spoilers for main event or SmackDown specifically, go down. Yeah. So first match main event, like I said, Warren and X-Mania. A decent short match. It was an okay match to start off. The crowd was into Warren. I watched Warren on Raw on Monday, and he didn't get much reception. It was crickets for him. But Detroit got decent reception. He got more ovation than he did in Pittsburgh. So it was a decent match. X was some good offense in there. And Warren's dragging along with power moves. I think it was like a 2-minute match, but still, decent match. 1, 2, 3 victory for Warren after some good moves. So there you go. On to our next match. This was like all the matches were pretty good, especially the first match of SmackDown and the main event of SmackDown was epic. Great main event on SmackDown taping side. But the only match I thought was a dud involved Adam Rose and Fandango. Or as I like to call it, the fans don't give a fuck match. Like, I was like, damn, if Fandango came out, I was like, damn, I don't like his. I was singing his old theme in protest of him changing his dancer gimmick to a flamingo dancer, and of course, more importantly, changing his theme. Then you had the Adam Rose. Apparently, Adam Rose is trying to be babyface again, but he's still playing off like a heel. Yeah, Exotic Express was there. Like, nobody gave a fuck. Like, it was like crickets. They're probably going to overdub the fuck out of this match for main event because the crowd was just not into it. You know, it was more of the guys battling for their jobs, basically, because they weren't getting over that well. But Adam Rose tried coming back with his big moves. Like, Fandango took over a little bit because like, nobody cared. But then Adam Rose tried to go for his big moves, but then Fandango came back. He was trying for the flying head scissors off the top, but he missed. Adam Rose rolled out in time. Tried to capitalize on some things, but Fandango got the quick roll up near the end. 1, 2, 3 victory for Fandango. And nobody cared. On to our next matchup and rematch from last week's Raw. Of course, the Ascension, a team that wasn't getting over that much, lost to the primetime players in their first defeat ever since debuting in the main roster. And they had a rematch against them tonight. And the Ascension got nothing today when it came out. They got nothing. You know, I'm a big fan of that. You know, being an NXT guy, it was great to see them wrestle, especially see Lucha Dragons and see Ascension in one night. That made my NXT heart happy. But to see the fans not receive well to them, and I'm a big fan of both teams, part-time players. I was a big fan of theirs till they broke up. Now they're back together, so it's cool to see them back together again. So we would see them wrestle. These two teams wrestle. Fun match. You know, Dale Young was isolated in the corner most of the matchup. Great double team up with Victor and Connor. They kind of got some heat during the match. I just hope they turn us around and try to get over. Heel or babyface. I don't care. So after isolating Dale in the corner for the majority of the matches, slaughtering him with double team moves, and refusing to get him back to his corner to get the tag to Titus. He fight the urge. He got an opportunity, and bam, got the opportunity. He got the tag in, the hot tag Titus O'Neil. Crowd was on this side. Crowd was definitely for part-time players. Good reception. Especially after that last match, you know, Fandango and Adam Rose just squashed like a bug, the crowd reception. You know, Titus did the oora, oora, oora. And then he came with some big moves. He could a big Titus bomb. With Damon taking care of the other Ascension member outside the ring, Titus got the pin. 1, 2, 3 victory for the part-time players. Ascension might be losing the buzz a lot quicker, losing 2 times in a row, specifically to the same team. So there you go. With that, now the main event, Nikki Bella, the Divas Champion against Naomi. Now, I'm giving WWE credit for the whole give Divas a chance movement about giving Divas local matches. And this wasn't that bad of a match. It was a long match. It was like about 8-9 minutes. And it was a pretty fun match being a Divas match. You know, it's still not as good as an NXT Divas match, but I think they're on the right track with this. It was a fun match between I've been a big fan of Naomi. I think she should have been Divas Champion last year. But her push got derailed when she got injured with her eye cornea in a match against Oksana, who got fired afterward. So it was a fun match between Naomi and Nikki. Naomi did all the work. There was some fun moments in the match when Brie got involved in the match. Brie was at ringside, of course. She distracted Naomi for a little bit. And Nikki tried to take advantage, but then there was a spot where Naomi kind of pushed the Bellas into each other. That was a fun little spot there, and Naomi had the crowd on their side. But there was some cheers for Bellas, too. It's kind of weird. The Bellas were heels, yet they were getting good babyface pop. Because the fans like Total Divas. And it's kind of weird that the last time I went to Raw, I saw Nikki Bella defeat Beth Phoenix for the Divas title before the Bellas left the first time. Now they're about to leave again because maybe they didn't renew their contracts after the Survivor Series, or they're just keeping people in suspense over that taping. Maybe they have resigned, but they haven't said anything yet. Keeping storyline, keeping it hush hush, especially the Mania with the tag team match coming up. So after that match with Naomi winning with the rear veer in the victory, despite Brie's interference and involvement, it was still a fun match. You know, the interference made it fun. You know, sometimes interference ruins a match, but it didn't ruin this match. So it's cool to see that. So I hope it comes across on the main event on the network, but it looked pretty good. For me, the Divas match, right track. You know, not on the right track to finally give Divas a great chance. And yeah, they did some good wrestling out there. I'll give them credit for that. Especially Nikki's not the best wrestler in the world. Neither is her sister, but still, she did pretty well. But I think Naomi carried the match. Because Naomi's more like Diva of the two. But still, fun Divas match. For being a Divas match, it was fun. If they keep this up, Divas division could finally reclaim its throne on the main roster. They could finally get the space and time like NXT is. Now, in between the main event matches at SmackDown, we had another dark match. Zack Ryder, big fan of fans like to see him, wrestled Bray Wyatt. Now, to see Bray Wyatt go from challenging Taker on Raw last night to see him in a dark match, it's kind of weird, but just to see Bray Wyatt's entrance in person was just amazing. You see, like, you're a fan like me, you go to the show, you have seen Bray Wyatt's entrance so many times on TV. The lights going out, the phone lighting up. To actually be in the arena and actually see his entrance in person and actually seeing in that arena the feeling you get when the lights go out and that entrance happens, it was just awe-inspiring. You had to be there moments. Like, that's the best part about going to the WWE event, is to actually see Bray Wyatt's entrance in person and get that awesome feeling you get watching it on TV. It's more awestruck seeing it in person, just seeing him come out with the lantern, all the lights. It was just amazing. The match itself wasn't that bad. You know, Bray had to win this one because, hey, you're challenging Undertaker at Mania. You have to look good. And Zack Ryder didn't look good. I think both guys made each other look good in this match. That's the elements of a good match. It also wasn't that bad of a match. It was a fun match. I would love to have seen this on Raw one day. But still, for a dark match, it was fun in between. Everyone, like, it was kind of mixed because people cheered Wyatt. Same with the Bellas. You know, Bellas are heels and Bray's heel. Yeah, they cheered Bray. May not cheer him for long when Taker comes back for Mania. For match, Zack Ryder got some good offense in. He did the Boomski boot. And this way to set up the Rough Rider after being annihilated by Dean Ambrose. We'll get to him in a second in the best SmackDown TV. But against Bray after the early going. But then after Boomski boot, trying to set up for the Rough Rider, Bray got out of it. They were with a nasty clothesline, setting up Sister Abigail and the 1-2-3 victory for Bray Wyatt. Like I said, this was a dark match in between the main event and SmackDown tapings. It won't air on TV. That's sad, though, because it was a fun match, though. Like, I'm a big fan of both Bray and Zack, so I love seeing them together. They have decent chemistry. I wish that would be an interesting feud one day if they would actually give Zack Ryder an actual feud. But hey, I love the match, though. So now, on to SmackDown itself, the main portion of our program. SmackDown. We would kick things off with Daniel Bryan coming out. Of the biggest pops of the night, it would have to be D-Bry, Roman, and Orton. I'll talk about Orton in a second. He didn't come out for the main show. He came out for the Dark Match main event, which I'll explain. So D-Bry came out and he had a big ovation. You know, like, yes, you know. It's another one of those things you have to see in person. So D-Bry came out and talked about, you know, we've been seeing him being teased for being in a ladder match at WrestleMania for the IC Championship. And already, full place to be in. Already full. So D-Boy, he beat Barrett on Raw on Monday. And he's been kind of aspiring to be an IC champion. He said in a promo, I'm not going to be able to reclaim or repeat my must be more from last year being in the main event for the title. But this time, I'm going to go for a title, IC title. So I'm officially putting my name in the hat. I will be in the ladder match for the title at WrestleMania. So then after he made that compilation, here comes Baron's Barrett. So I'm the champion, but I have no belt. And then all the guys that were in the ladder match came out, including Stardust. Now, I did not know this. I got home, and I didn't have my phone on me or my tablet on me. But I found out later that Stardust has been added to. They didn't say it during the show that Stardust was added, but he's been added. So it's a 7-man match. And an already busy match. I was at the autograph signing again for Ziggler, and I talked to a fan there in line, and he's like, they should keep this match to 6 guys. Because if you have 8, it's too many guys. Now you have 7 guys with Cody now added / Stardust, which I should have thought he was going to be added because he had a title too. But what's sad is we will not get that one-on-one match at Mania between him and Goldust. That match at Fastlane was it, sadly. Because the match had a screwy ending. I much like a lot of people, they should have had that match at WrestleMania. But that's probably why they had it at Fastlane. Screwy ending with the referee miscount or not. But still kind of sad to see Goldust and Stardust not having that Mania match. But still cool to see Cody in this already busy match. So he came out, and we had Dolph Ziggler come out. I was cheering because I met him early today. And all the people that won tickets with me that at the signing of Ziggler were in my section. So we were all like, yay, Ziggler, because you met him and we won tickets for being in his signing. He even gave some ringside seats to some lucky girls who were there. They showed a clip of that signing to the crowd. That was cool. I wasn't on camera, but still it was cool. And then Truth came out with the belt. He stole it on Raw. He was outside the ring with Bad News Barrett, Luke Harper, and Stardust in the ring, along with D-Boy, Ambrose, and Ziggler. Like I said, Truth was outside the ring with the belt. And then Barrett's like, I want my belt. He pushed Dolph and D-Boy aside because he was going to get his belt. D-Boy and Dolph did not appreciate Barrett pushing him. So the ball was on. 6-man brawl to start off the show. Pretty good brawl to set up the main event for the night, being a 6-man tag. So there you go. Great way to start off the show with a great promo. Let's cue up a great main event match. Second favorite match besides the main was the first match of the main card of SmackDown, an 8-man tag involving the Usos teaming up with New Day against Los Matadores and the tag team champs Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, which makes a whole lot of sense after seeing Raw last night with New Day defeating the new tag team champions in a match, and Los Matadores defeated the Usos in a match right off the get-go, right after that match. So to see these 8 guys team up with each other makes perfect sense. Even though both teams had their blind tag issues. New Day kept blind tagging each other in, and New Day has been getting no reaction at all. Mixed reaction from New Day when it came out. There's some boos. There's people saying New Day, but I've been saying it all along, they're not getting over because it wasn't a complete character change. They should have been Nation Domination heels. But Usos got a really good pop. Really good pop for Usos. And it just me as Los Matadores heel. Or they're just trainers. It was still kind of weird to see El Torino standing next to Natalia with Naomi at ringside, supporting her Usos, and of course, Big E thing with Xavier and Kofi wrestling for the New Day. A pretty fun 8-man tag. This could be a match in Mania for the titles. A 14 match in Mania. I would not be surprised if they add that match soon. Because we don't have a tag team title match in Mania. It makes a lot of sense because each of these teams have a victory over each other. New Day over Tyson Cesaro. And I'm a big fan of theirs, so I was happy to see them wrestle. Fun match. With the heels team kind of dominating early going, isolating their guy in the corner, which was one of the New Day members. And then, like I said, the last 5 minutes was just crazy. That was like the best part of the last 5 minutes. It was like chaos. Natty got involved a little bit. But she didn't get really much involved like she did on Monday. But the blind tag started coming in. There were some great spots in the match. So it's all they do is swing. But he did a big uppercut behind the referee's back. And then Tyson Kidd had everything in hand, and all of a sudden, Diego blind tagged himself in. You know, like I said, both these had the blind tag problems. They kept blind tagging each other in with the Usos. Big flying Uso move as well. But then Diego got the blind tag in after Tyson Kidd did all the damage. And Diego capitalized 1-2-3 victory with Diego pinning one. Actually, Kofi Kingston got pinned in that. Kofi Kingston was all offense. And then, like I said, Diego got the blind tag. And even though they won, even though Diego and Los Matadores and Tyson and Cesaro won, they were arguing as they were going back. And Usos basically left New Day high and dry. Because all these teams have their issues. Which, like I said, makes sense if these 4 teams would face off in the tag team titles. Because all of them wants that gold. It's about that gold. About that gold. So there you go. Now, we had a Rusev Cena package after that. Now, we did not see Cena wrestle tonight. There was a lot of kids wearing John Cena's shirts. Sometimes when Cena's show doesn't show up, they offer refunds. But they didn't offer refunds. But there's a lot of Cena fans there. And I've been to a lot of WWE events. And this is the first time I haven't seen Cena wrestle in like 9 years. The only time I didn't see Cena wrestle was on SmackDown 06 because he was on SmackDown at the time. This is when the brand extension was still active. So, I kind of feel bad for those kids who didn't get to see Cena, especially those going to their first event and going just to see Cena. There was probably a good reason why he didn't show up. But he didn't wrestle on Monday, which is weird. But they announced the next appearance. It was a house show in August. So maybe we'll show up for that. But then we had our next match. We had Ryback. Got a good reaction. Taking on Miz. Mizdow was relegated to the back. So we didn't get to see Mizdow because Miz had him do his duty work. And we were chanting, "You want Mizdow?" Because I was hoping Mizdow would make an appearance. Because Miz told him to stay back. But he never did. Because Miz is like, "I can beat Ryback by myself." Well, I think he needed all the help he could get. Despite some early offense from the Miz, Ryback came flying with his big moves. Big boot, and of course, the meat hook. And of course, the shell shot and the victory in a decent quick match against the Miz. Crowd was definitely on Ryback's side. Definitely cheering on Ryback. There was something I said, we want Sam Mizdow chance. Thought it might be in a few others, but we didn't get to see Mizdow. So there you go. Now on to Roman Reigns. Now, like I said, Roman Reigns had like the biggest pop of the night besides D-Bryan Orton. And it was cool to hear Roman Reigns actually get cheered for once and not get booed out the building like he has been. To see a turnaround like that. Heading towards Mania, I think he's ready. Especially this promo. I don't know how it turned out on TV, but I hope that the people who watch this promo, I think they should silence the critics about Reigns. Yes, he still needed to work on the mic skills, but still. It was an okay little segment retaliating against Paul Heyman's statements in his epic promo last night on Raw. So all these people saying, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't be Brock Lesnar. But I can and I will. Then Mark Henry's music hit. Mark Henry returned for the first time in months. We haven't seen him in a while. Of a surprise return, I would love to have seen Sheamus' return. But Sheamus has been advertised for months, so maybe after Mania. But it was kind of cool to see Mark Henry return. There was some scant sexual chocolate chants, somewhat chants for him, and somewhat for Roman Reigns, and scattered boos. But not much boos. Mostly 90% cheers. You know, okay, was like, I hate you whippersnappers who think you've done everything. You think you know it all. We haven't been what I've been through. I am the world's strongest man. I beat people up because that's what I do. And then Wayne started saying, like, you don't respect me or my family like Lesnar does. And I like that. The only good thing about this match is they're using Roman's heritage in the match, in the storyline. Makes it more personal. Because Roman's been disrespected by Lesnar. So then, after bad mouthing Mark Henry for a little bit, and Henry's like, you haven't earned respect. You've earned respect from the fans, but you haven't earned respect from me and the guys in the back. Mark Henry kind of shoved Roman Reigns aside, and then turned around, bam! Superman punch from Roman Reigns, took him down, and Mark Henry hobbled out of the ringside area But Roman wasn't done yet. As Walker was humbling after the Superman punch, Roman Reigns speared him through hell over the barricade where the ring timekeeper was. That was a great spot. That spot's been done before with other people, but still, see Roman Reigns spear the hell out of him. But aiming like that through the barricade was awesome, great spot to get him over. And he was on the announce table celebrating, and the crowd was just eating it up. And he's like, "You think I can't beat Lesnar? I can and I will. Believe that." So I was glad to see. Yes, I have been detracted about Reigns, but hey, that's what internet fans of. That's what internet fans do. They get fickle. Like 1 minute they want a guy to get big, and then they get big and they boo him. Like what happened with Reigns. So it's still cool to see Reigns. Like, guys, I have nothing against Reigns. Some would say he's not ready yet. I think he is. And I hope this segment comes across as a great segment to get Roman Reigns over. A great segment with Mark Henry. I hope that kind of silenced some critics. Now, before we get to the next match, I was surprised by the minimum advertising on the W Network. They overly advertise it on the TV show. Yet there wasn't much advertising at all during the show. Like, they always have, commercial breaks. It's live. They still, even though it's taped, they still have commercial breaks. Like the timeout commercial breaks. And they had a lot of commercials for their toys. I saw more commercials for their toys than the network, which is surprising because they over-advertise on the show. So it's some kind of a reprieve to not see that's overly advertised like they do on the regular shows. Next up, on to our next match involving Paige and AJ taking on Summer Rae, who lost to AJ last night on Raw, and Cameron with Kim Kardashian, Eva Marie, who should be fired, in no corner. Of course, this is Paige and AJ's first tag team match together, but paying for the tag team match against the Bella Twins at WrestleMania. As much as I was disappointed that it wasn't a fatal four-way match for the title at WrestleMania instead of a tag, man, tag match should be interesting. Paige and AJ had their differences in the past. But I think they patched things up because they have a common enemy in the Bella Twins, who are watching at ringside this match very carefully. AJ got a good pop. Yes, there were a scant few CM Punk chants. I said in my Raw review last night, I'll say it again. The truth hurts. But I think everybody who chants CM Punk's name after a fucking year should listen to an Eagles song called Get Over It. It's been a year. You've been chanting his name for a year. He ain't coming back. I love Punk too, yes. I would like for him to come back. But I'm not going to troll by chanting his name every fucking second. Because I know he ain't coming back immediate. He's in UFC now. Get over it, people. Sorry to be truthful like that, but hey, it hurts. But it has to be told. One way or another. So we would see AJ and Paige come out. AJ came out first. Had some offense there. Get somewhere. Like, the Divas match was okay. Not as good as Paige and Naomi. Not as good as Naomi and Nikki earlier. I think Naomi, who did beat Nikki, I think she should get a Divas match one day. Because I think she should be champion. She's the most athletic Diva besides Natalya. They had a good match on Raw. Should have been longer, but still. Kind of glad, once again, glad I gave Naomi and Nikki the time on the main event tonight that they came. So I think Naomi should get another shot at the Mania. Because I think she should have been champion before eye injury, like I said earlier in the review. In the light report, as I'm calling it. So, at the end, you got isolated by Summer Rae a little bit. Cameron got a little bit. Of course, Paige got the hot tag. I think they got good reception. They got good pop. Especially AJ. And Paige got a decent pop. After not getting a much pop in the last year since her debut, I think she's finally got over with the fans. I think she's finally earned the respect of the fans. As a hero in face, it doesn't matter. So Paige came in the House of Fire, putting in the Rampage submission hold, making Summer Rae tap out immediately in an OK Divas tag with Paige and AJ. The best part was after the match. They were at the announce table. They shoved the Bella Twins, and they looked like they were going to get into a fight. Referees were holding them back. The crowd was just saying, fight, 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 fight. And Brie was holding Nikki back. Paige was holding AJ back. But the old saying goes, wait till WrestleMania to spend $9.99 for the pay-per-view. But it's still a good broad tease to heat up their feud for Mania, the tag match. Speaking of heating up feuds, On with our main event for SmackDown, which was Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, and Daniel Bryan, who got good pops themselves. Like I said, Dean Bryan's probably one of the best pop guys. Ziggler's up in the top 5. In Ambrose. That's like the top 5 guys who got the biggest pops. No particular order. Dean Bryan, Reigns, Orton during the dunk match, main event. Ziggler and Ambrose. Those three, like I said, took on, stepping for the opening segment, Stardust, Luke Harper, and Ladies Barrett. Great 6-man tag. Great main event tonight. Really good main event. Probably the best match of the night. It was just chaotic. It was fun. And I'm a big fan of all these guys. And they put on a heck of a 6-man tag. If this 6-man tag is any indication, the ladder match is going to be epic. Just add all truth in. The ladder match should be just as epic as tonight's 6-man tag. For majority of the match, Ambrose was just getting isolated in the corner. He kept, every time he tried to go for offense, he got taken down again, isolated by the heels in their corner, getting the quick tags in and out. Once, but they kind of got him really hurt and got him isolated when he got hit outside the ring against the announce table and got a big kick from Harper. And then once Dolph Ziggler got the hot tag in after numerous attempts from Ambrose to get the hot tag, bang. That's when the match really picked up speed. And there was some badass moments in that last couple of seconds. All the heels were outside the ring at one point. And it looked like all three babyfaces, Daniel Bryan, Ziggler, and Ambrose, were going to fly. But as all three were attempting to fly, Harper came back in, gave a big boot to Ziggler, grounding him, just leaving D-Bryan and Ambrose to fly. On to Ladies Barrett and Stardust. A lot of Cody chants. A lot of Cody chants for Stardust. This crowd was the hottest match they were into. They were like really into it, especially after that boot from Ziggler to Ziggler from Harper when the other two faces did their splashes, leaving Ziggler alone not to get a break, and he got a kick out, and the crowd was just into it. Like I said, this match was the most fun match, and it was just an epic match. Like a lot of great moments, especially at the last 5 minutes. Move after move, the famous serve, and the zigzag from Ziggler. And then D-Bryan blind tagged himself in after Ziggler delivered the zigzag to Harper. And then D-Bryan got the big flying knee and the 1-2-3 victory for D-Bryan and his team. And it was like a fun main event match. And Michael Cole was in the ring after the match. He's like, David Bryan, congratulations on your victory. And D-Bryan was like, well, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. And Dolph stole the mic. He's like, hey, Bryan, you got one on me. You stole a win from me. You know, I steal the show, but you stole the win from me. But I know it's WrestleMania season. It's every man for himself. So, hey, you're in this ladder match with us now. It's on, boy. I like it, but it's all about business. It's nothing personal, it's business money. And then Dean Ambrose was like the most frank. He's like, I don't care about people saying that, oh, D-Bryan's a nice guy, but he's not really a nice guy. D-Bryan, to be point blank, you're a turd. And then Dolph Ziggler was like, I agree with Ambrose, you're a turd too. So then they kind of had the fans kind of turn on D-Bryan. That was kind of a weird situation. D-Bryan had a big pop all night. The yes chants were up in the air like that. But after Ziggler and Ambrose called him a turd, you had all the fans doing this, but instead of saying yes, they were saying, turn, turn, turn. And D-Bryan grabbed the mic. I don't know if it's going to make TV or not, because I think the segment might have aired on TV, but I don't know if D-Bryan's rebuttal will air on TV. But D-Bryan was like, you think I'm a turn? And people were like, yes, yes, no, no, no. I was like, is D-Bryan turning heel tonight? Because he was like, don't call me a turn. It was kind of like what happened when he was heel and he didn't like the yes chants and he had no instead when he hated people just he thought people making fun of him by doing the yes chants, and now they kind of were intentionally making fun of him because they were saying turn instead of yes. I thought it was like, wow, is D-Bryan actually turning heel here? And it kind of makes sense for Ziggler and Ambrose because D-Bryan just kind of barges in the match. In my mind, I love D-Bryan, but he's a main event guy who should be in the main event after being champ last year, stripped because of neck injury, never really lost it. I think he'll be a champ again. But But to see a main event guy like that in a mid-card match, we should be against Sheamus, and no matter how many people hate it, Levi should be facing Sheamus. At least this time, he won't lose in 18 seconds if he did. But to kind of mush him in, shove him in a ladder match that's already overcrowded. That's the key word I was looking for. I've been searching for this entire review. The ladder match is already overcrowded. And now Levi's in it. And now Stardust is in it. It could be an 8-man eventually. So there you go. Levi ended the taping by saying, yes, saying, Detroit, call me a turn or not. I still love you, Detroit. You're a great crowd. Thank you. This probably, like I said, may not make air. Like Brian's Rebuttal may not air TV. This segment of it being called a turn would probably air on TV, but I don't think it's Rebuttal will air. So after Brian's Rebuttal, here comes our dark match main event. Now, the advertised main event was scheduled to be Seth Rollins, Big Show, and Kane taking on Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and Dean Ambrose. Well, the main event was changed from a 6-man, because we've had, a 6-man tag for main event SmackDown, an 8-man tag to begin SmackDown. We had a tag team match. Just Big Show and Kane taking on Roman Reigns and Randy Orton. Now, they had an Orton interview they were going to do. They aired a promo for Randy's interview, but they didn't have it. They must have taped it for later. They didn't have the interview for the crowd. They're probably going to air it on SmackDown for TV. And there was people of RKO sides, but Randy Orton came out for the dark match main event that got changed. It was like awesome. The crowd reception, like I said, got one of the biggest pops besides Steve Bryan and Ziggler and all them. And Reigns. But to see Reigns and Orton kind of team up after fighting each other a few months ago at SummerSlam was interesting. Once again, they have a commonality, the Authority. It was a little bit disappointing not to see Seth Rollins because I'm such a big fan of his. It would have been fun to see him, especially if he brought out JJ Security. But I think they probably want to keep Orton and Rollins away from each other until Mania during dark matches because they're teaming up, they're facing each other at Mania. So that's why I think Seth Rollins wasn't there. Rusev wasn't there either as Cena. I thought I saw like Rusev's flag set up, but Rusev never came out. Neither did Cena. But anyway, dark match it was short but sweet. It wasn't a long match. Big Show and Kane came in with some offense. They didn't have any miscommunications like they did during the Raw match last night. But Tina pretty well was a chokeslam attempts, but then Reigns, who was isolated the entire time, or just pranced around the apron while Roman Reigns did all the dirty work. I felt like Reigns got isolated, but then he came back with the big spear, Big Show, Superman punch, and all that. Got the hot tag to Orton. Like I said, Orton got one of the biggest pops besides Reigns and D-Boy. Came in like a house of fire. RKO chance galore. He did Hangman DDT. He did all the big moves. I'm glad Orton's babyface again. Some people have called Orton stay on all that. But I think now he's really enjoying being a babyface. I like this promo on Raw on Monday. And he finally turned the Authority. And then, after the Hangman DDT, setting up for the RKO. And I said, I was with my dad taking me. Because he's a wrestling fan too. He hasn't been to a wrestling show with me in a while, so I took him. Because I want these tickets. I had nobody else to take with me. So I said to my dad, when Orton hits that RKO, the crowd's going to erupt. And then Big Show tried going for a choke slam on Orton. Big Show got speared to hell by Roman Reigns. I think he did a Superman punch before the tag. Then he tagged Orton. Then he got the Superman tag, the spear on Big Show. There was a funny sign that said that Rhino's gore is better than Roman's spear. Believe that. So that was kind of funny to see that sign. I almost agree. Kind of. I like Roman's spear, but yes, the gore's hard hitting. More hard hitting than Reigns' gore spear. So then, after Reigns took out Big Show, Kane, I think, got the RKO from Orton to a big, massive pop to send the fans home happy, 150 victory for Randy Orton and Roman Reigns. That's what the purpose of that match was. Short match to end the night and to send the fans home happy, especially seeing Randy Orton. These are kind of made up for no Cena. Just to see Orton out there deliver the RKO, just a big pop, made it up for everybody. That was enough to satisfy everybody for not seeing Cena. Which will probably be the August house show. August 15th, right before SummerSlam. So, there you go. I don't know when the next taping is, but it was a fun show tonight. You know, like I said, I got to go for free because I got free tickets. Thank you once again, WIF, for picking my name in the raffle. Thanks again to Cricket Wireless and Dolph Ziggler for great autograph signing. So there's it for my SmackDown live report from the Joe Louis Arena tonight. And that is it. With that in mind, y'all been attacked by the new report from Zach. Thank you very much. See you later, yeah. Or should I say yes, yes, yes.